Welcome back, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters, to another exciting journey into the fascinating world of rare coins. Today, we are diving into a story that will absolutely captivate anyone with even a passing interest in coin collecting, history, or the thrill of discovering something truly priceless. We are talking about the 1965 Liberty Quarter Dollar from the United States, a coin that might appear ordinary at first glance but holds a staggering potential value of $375,000, far surpassing its original face value of 25 cents. This is a story of history, errors, mint marks, and the hidden secrets that make this coin a must-have for serious collectors around the world. The 1965 Liberty Quarter is part of the long-running series of quarters that honor George Washington on the obverse, a design first introduced in 1932. While at first glance, these quarters might seem like just another everyday coin, the 1965 edition is far from ordinary. To understand why it has the potential to be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, we need to explore a combination of historical context, minting peculiarities, and the errors that occurred during its production. 1965 was a pivotal year for U.S. coinage. The United States was undergoing a shift in the composition of its coins due to rising silver prices. In 1965, quarters transitioned from being made of 90% silver to a clad composition, consisting of copper and nickel. This change was a response to both economic and political pressures. The rising value of silver made it impractical to continue producing coins with such a high silver content, as their melt value began to surpass their face value. While this composition change might seem minor, it had a significant impact on the way coins were minted and ultimately created opportunities for errors that collectors now prize. One of the key factors that make the 1965 Liberty Quarter so valuable today is the presence of minting errors. These errors are deviations from the standard production process that can occur for a variety of reasons, ranging from minor imperfections on the die to misalignments in the striking process. Errors can be as small as doubled dates, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks, or as dramatic as missing elements of the design entirely. In the coin collecting world, these errors can elevate the value of a coin exponentially, and the 1965 Liberty Quarter is a prime example. Among the most sought-after errors in the 1965 Liberty Quarter is the doubled die variety. A doubled die occurs when the die used to strike the coin has been improperly manufactured, resulting in a coin that shows duplicated images or lettering. This doubling is often most noticeable on the date, the word Liberty, or the phrase "In God We Trust." Coins with a pronounced doubled die can fetch tens of thousands, and in some extreme cases, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Collectors are drawn to the uniqueness of these coins because no two errors are exactly alike, making each piece essentially a one-of-a-kind artifact of minting history. Another fascinating aspect of the 1965 Liberty Quarter is the mint mark varieties and mistakes. In 1965, quarters were minted in Philadelphia and Denver, with no mint mark for Philadelphia and a mint mark for Denver. Some coins, however, exhibit repunched mint marks or misplaced mint marks, which are highly prized by collectors. A repunched mint mark occurs when the mint mark was stamped more than once on the die, creating a shadow or duplication effect. These errors were often accidental, but they have become a hallmark of rarity in modern coin collecting. A single 1965 quarter with a rare repunched mint mark could command a price that far exceeds even other error coins of the same year. It is also important to consider the role of circulation and coin condition in determining the value of a 1965 Liberty Quarter. While a coin might feature a significant error, its condition plays a huge role in its market value. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to perfect mint state, with higher grade coins commanding higher prices. A 1965 Liberty Quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition with a notable error could easily reach the $375,000 mark, making it one of the most valuable quarters in the world. The combination of rarity, error, and condition is what truly drives the staggering values associated with these coins. Collectors should also understand that these coins are not only valuable for their errors but also for their historical significance. The 1965 Liberty Quarter represents a period of transition in U.S. minting, from silver to clad coinage, and from traditional production methods to a more modern approach. Owning a coin from this era is like holding a piece of history in your hands, a tangible connection to a time when the United States was grappling with economic changes and technological advancements in coin production. The story behind the coin is as important as the coin itself, and that narrative adds to its allure and market value. another intriguing factor contributing to the 1965 Liberty Quarter's high value is the possibility of misstrikes and off-metal errors. These occur when the coin is struck on the wrong metal planchet, resulting in unusual coloration or weight. Such errors are incredibly rare and highly prized by collectors. Imagine discovering a 1965 quarter that is slightly heavier or a different shade than the typical copper-nickel composition. These anomalies are not only visually striking but also extremely rare, making them a hot commodity at auctions and among private collectors. Coins with these types of errors are often the subject of intense bidding wars, reflecting their scarcity and desirability. The market for rare coins like the 1965 Liberty Quarter is global, and collectors are willing to pay premium prices to obtain such unique specimens. Auctions, both in person and online, have seen extraordinary results for coins of this caliber. What makes the 1965 quarter especially compelling is that it bridges the gap between mid-20th century coinage and modern collecting trends. Collectors today are drawn to coins that offer a combination of historical importance, rarity, and unique features that set them apart from everyday circulation coins. The 1965 Liberty Quarter meets all of these criteria, and its potential $375,000 value is a testament to its extraordinary status. In addition to minting errors and historical significance, provenance can also play a role in determining the value of a 1965 Liberty Quarter. Provenance refers to the documented history of a coin, including previous ownership and auction records. Coins with well-documented histories, especially those previously owned by prominent collectors or featured in major auctions, can command even higher prices. For serious collectors, provenance adds credibility and prestige to the coin, making it an even more attractive acquisition. It is worth noting that the rarity of the 1965 Liberty Quarter is not solely due to errors or mint marks. Some quarters were simply lost, damaged, or destroyed over time, reducing the number of surviving high-quality specimens. Coins that have survived in near-perfect condition are therefore much more valuable than those that have circulated heavily. For collectors, finding a 1965 quarter that is both error-rich and in pristine condition is akin to winning the lottery. These coins are the pinnacle of rarity and desirability, and their market value reflects this scarcity. For those considering investing in rare coins like the 1965 Liberty Quarter, it is crucial to understand the dynamics of the coin market. Prices are influenced by a combination of rarity, demand, historical significance, and condition. Economic factors can also play a role, as collectors may be more willing to invest during periods of financial stability or uncertainty. Understanding these factors can help collectors make informed decisions and potentially acquire coins at prices below their long-term market value. The 1965 Liberty Quarter also serves as an educational tool for collectors and enthusiasts. Studying the coin, its errors, and its minting history provides insights into the complexities of coin production and the factors that contribute to rarity and value. For young collectors or those new to numismatics, this coin is an excellent example of how seemingly ordinary items can become extraordinary treasures when examined closely. The story behind the coin encourages curiosity, research, and a deeper appreciation for the artistry and technical skill involved in minting. Another remarkable aspect of the 1965 Liberty Quarter is its ability to inspire excitement and engagement among collectors. Whether through discovering a rare error in your own change, participating in an auction, or attending a coin show, the thrill of encountering a coin with such immense potential value is unparalleled. The 1965 Liberty Quarter embodies the spirit of numismatics, where history, rarity, and human ingenuity converge to create objects of extraordinary significance. It is also important to recognize the role of certification in the value of a 1965 Liberty Quarter. Professional grading services assess the condition and authenticity of coins, providing collectors with confidence in their purchases. Coins that have been certified by reputable organizations are generally more desirable and command higher prices. For a coin like the 1965 Liberty Quarter, certification can be a critical factor in achieving its full market potential. A certified coin with a major error in mint state condition can easily reach the $375,000 mark, illustrating the importance of professional evaluation in the world of rare coins. The fascination with the 1965 Liberty Quarter extends beyond monetary value. It is a symbol of American history, a testament to the evolution of coin production, and a reminder of My dears, if you love coins, hidden treasures, and incredible stories where something ordinary turns into something extraordinary, you are absolutely in the right place. Now we're diving deep into a fascinating American coin that many people have held in their hands without realizing its potential power, history, and value. This is a story about the 1979 Liberty Quarter Dollar from the United States, a coin with a face value of just 25 cents that, under rare circumstances, can be worth as much as $395,000 or even more. Stay with me, because by the end of this journey, you'll never look at a quarter the same way again. The 1979 Liberty Quarter Dollar belongs to a time of transition in American coinage and American history. Although commonly referred to by collectors and the public as a Liberty Quarter because of its symbolic roots in liberty and freedom, this coin officially continues the Washington Quarter design that began in 1932. By 1979, the United States was navigating economic challenges, inflation concerns, and rapid changes in manufacturing technology at the U.S. Mint. These factors created the perfect environment for mistakes, mint errors, and unusual varieties to slip through production, and those imperfections are exactly what can transform a simple pocket coin into a collector's dream. When we talk about the 1979 D quarter, the D mint mark tells us this coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint has produced billions of coins over the decades, and in 1979 alone, an enormous number of quarters were struck to meet circulation demand. With such massive production volumes, even a tiny error rate can result in thousands of flawed coins. Most errors are minor and add little value, but a small fraction are dramatic, visually striking, and extremely rare. These are the coins that collectors compete fiercely to own, sometimes pushing auction prices into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. At first glance, a 1979 D quarter looks familiar. On the obverse, you see the left-facing profile of George Washington, dignified and calm, surrounded by inscriptions that represent the authority and ideals of the United States. The reverse features the iconic eagle design that had been used on quarters for decades, symbolizing strength, vigilance, and freedom. The composition of the coin is copper-nickel clad, with a pure copper core sandwiched between outer layers of copper-nickel alloy. This construction itself becomes important when discussing certain error types that dramatically affect value. One of the most important things to understand about valuable error coins is that rarity alone is not enough. The error must also be identifiable, verifiable, and desirable. In the case of the 1979 D Liberty Quarter Dollar, several categories of errors and mint mistakes are known to exist, and some are so rare that only a handful of examples have been confirmed. These include off-metal strikes, wrong planchet errors, dramatic double strikes, major die errors, mint mark anomalies, and transitional errors that occurred during changes in minting processes. One of the most talked about and valuable possibilities for the 1979 D quarter is an off-metal or wrong planchet error. This happens when a quarter design is accidentally struck onto a metal blank intended for a different coin. For example, a quarter struck on a planchet meant for a nickel, dime, or even a foreign coin can instantly become an extreme rarity. The weight, thickness, and sound of such a coin are noticeably different, and laboratory testing can confirm the composition. When a genuine off-metal strike is discovered from the Denver Mint in 1979, collectors take immediate notice. In pristine condition, with clear design details and strong mint mark visibility, such a coin can command astonishing prices, sometimes climbing toward the upper six-figure range depending on uniqueness and eye appeal. Another highly valuable category is the double strike error. In a double strike, the coin is struck more than once by the dies, often with misalignment between strikes. This can result in overlapping images, partial second impressions, or dramatic distortions of the design. Some double strikes are subtle and only slightly increase value, but others are bold and unmistakable. A dramatic double-struck 1979 D quarter with clear separation between strikes, especially if one strike is off-center, can be one of the most visually exciting coins a collector can own. These coins tell a story of chaos inside the minting press, and collectors are willing to pay extraordinary sums for that story. Frozen in metal, die errors also play a huge role in determining the potential value of a 1979 D quarter. A die crack occurs when the metal die used to strike coins develops a fracture. Over time, this crack can widen, creating raised lines on the coin's surface. In extreme cases, the die can partially break away, resulting in what collectors call a cud. A cud appears as a blob of raised metal along the edge of the coin where design details are missing. Large, dramatic cuts are especially desirable, and if they appear on a well-preserved 1979 D quarter, they can multiply the coin's value many times over its face value. Die clashes are another fascinating error type. A die clash happens when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between. This can transfer part of one design onto the other die, and when coins are subsequently struck, faint ghost images appear where they don't belong. On a 1979 D quarter, this might mean traces of the eagle's wings appearing behind Washington's head or outlines of lettering showing up in unusual places. Strong, clear die clash marks are rare, and collectors actively seek them out, especially when they are well documented and authenticated. Mint mark errors are particularly important for the 1979 D quarter because the D mint mark itself can be the key to extraordinary value. Mint mark errors can include doubled mint marks, misplaced mint marks, or even missing mint marks in cases where one should be present. A doubled D mint mark, especially one that is bold and visible without magnification, can turn a common quarter into a highly desirable variety. Misplaced mint marks, where the D appears in an unusual position, are even rarer and can push values dramatically higher. One of the most valuable and mysterious possibilities involves transitional errors. Transitional errors occur when a coin is struck using dies or planchets from a different production period. In the late 1970s, the U.S. Mint was constantly refining its processes, and mistakes sometimes occurred during transitions. A 1979 D quarter struck with an experimental planchet, incorrect alloy, or mismatched dies could represent a one-of-a-kind piece. Coins like this often become legendary within the numismatic community, and when they surface at auction, bidding wars can drive prices to unbelievable levels. Condition is another critical factor in determining whether a 1979 D quarter could approach the kind of value that headlines love to talk about. Even a rare error can lose much of its potential value if the coin is heavily worn, damaged, or improperly cleaned. Coins that retain sharp details, strong luster, and minimal contact marks are far more desirable. Uncirculated or near-perfect examples are especially valuable, because they show the error clearly and dramatically. Professional grading by a respected third-party service is essential for any coin that might be worth thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars. When collectors talk about a 1979 D Liberty quarter dollar being worth up to $395,000, they are usually referring to a perfect storm of factors coming together. The coin must have a rare and dramatic error, be authenticated by experts, be in exceptional condition, and ideally have a compelling story or provenance. Provenance means a documented history of ownership, such as being discovered in an original mint bag, an old collection, or a known hoard. Coins with strong provenance often attract more attention and higher bids at auction. The psychology of collecting also plays a role in driving prices to extreme levels. Collectors are not just buying metal, they are buying history, rarity, and the thrill of owning something almost no one else can have. A unique or nearly unique 1979 D quarter error becomes a trophy, a centerpiece of a collection that represents years of searching and passion. When two or more wealthy collectors decide they must own the same coin, prices can escalate rapidly, far beyond what most people would consider rational. Another factor that cannot be ignored is the influence of media and online platforms. Stories about rare coins selling for huge sums spread quickly, inspiring people to check their change and revisit old collections. This increased attention brings more discoveries to light, but it also increases competition among collectors. A newly discovered major error 1979 D quarter, especially if it is visually dramatic and well preserved, can become a sensation almost overnight. It's also important to understand that not every 1979 D quarter is valuable, and not every error is worth a fortune. Many minor errors add only modest value, and some are so common that collectors barely notice them. However, the possibility that an ordinary-looking coin could be extraordinary is what makes this hobby so exciting. The idea that a quarter pulled from a drawer, a jar, or an old wallet could be worth more than a luxury car or even a house is enough to capture anyone's imagination. For those who believe they might have a rare 1979 D Liberty quarter dollar, careful examination is the first step. Weighing the coin, checking its diameter and thickness, and examining it under magnification can reveal clues. Comparing it to known examples of error. See